this is Leslie from GoToKitchens.com, and we are live in a Natural Grocers kitchen. How cool is this? One of the 5 founding principles of Natural Grocers is education, and we are expanding. Go-To Kitchens and Natural Grocers is expanding their classroom by bringing you live broadcasting like this. Now, today we're going to teach you some culinary things. I'm actually going to teach you how to make these little mini frittatas that are adorable and so easy and perfect for like the holidays coming up, because you can make them ahead of time and you can reheat them. They have good food in them. They have good food that's good for you, full of vegetables and proteins. So I'm going to teach you how to make those today. But we're also going to talk about Natural Grocers and their egg standards and how you can find an egg that is really, really good for you. So we're going to get started here. And before we do that, I'm actually going to introduce you to our sponsor of this particular program today. Our sponsor today is Jill's Crackers. Jill's Crackers is actually a gluten-free cracker that comes in 3 delicious flavors. And I have to tell you, there is no warning label, but there should be a warning label because they're so addictive. I love Jill's Crackers. They're a crunchy paleo snack that is friendly to your body, great low ingredient list, so everything in there is organic and pure. So check out Jill's Crackers, and she is the sponsor of this edition of our culinary class today. Okay. So today we're going to use a muffin tin. Now, if you have a 12 muffin tin, I have to tell you, a 6 muffin tin is giant. It makes these amazing little mini frittatas in there. So this is a muffin tin, and you can use any kind that you want, of course. You can actually do this in a pie plate as well, just like you would cook a frittata. But just be warned when we go to the potato part of this that you're going to make a really super thin layer. So if I don't forget to tell you there, just know now that you need a really, really thin layer if you do this in a pie plate, and don't do it in a muffin tin. So in the muffin tin, we're going to take some coconut oil, and we're just going to give each tin a nice little spray and coating it really well. Now, don't panic. If you don't have this handy-dandy coconut oil spray like this, you can just take regular coconut oil, put it on some on your fingers or on a paper towel or on a tea towel or something, and just really coat the inside of that. This is going to be an important step, because I have to tell you, I have done it before and not done the coconut oil, and you're scraping out egg out of your muffin tin for days. So this is an important step in there. Plus, it adds a little bit of a healthy fat. So we've done that. We're going to set that aside. Do that first so you don't forget. Because I always forget things like that. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to prepare the hash brown bottom. So instead of having a quiche bottom where you have a grain in the bottom of the egg dish, we're actually going to use just a russet potato and make a hash brown bottom. Now we're going to use another healthy fat for that. So what I've done so far is I did a little prep work ahead of time, and you're going to want to do that as well. So what I've done is I've just taken a russet potato and I've used a cheese grater and I've peeled it and I've just grated it down. But there's another secret to this, and that is getting all the moisture out. Get as much moisture as you can out of the potatoes. So with this, you can use a tea towel or a cup towel, or you can use paper towels and just really squeeze them until you get most of the moisture out. And you can see these are really nice and dry, and that's what you want. If you don't do that, you're going to have soggy bottoms, and you don't want soggy bottoms because they taste weird and they look weird. So you want to make sure that you have all the moisture out of that potato. So that's the work that I did ahead of time. So to make the hash brown bottoms, we're going to take about 2 tablespoons of melted ghee. Ghee is clarified butter. It's amazing for you, and it has so many healthy fats in there, and it really helps make these nice and brown. So clarified butter is basically has all the milk solids removed. So if you have a problem with lactose, let's say, and you don't eat butter because of the lactose, ghee actually has all of its milk solids removed, up to 99% or even 100% if you're making it yourself. You can get all those milk solids out, so the lactose is actually not in the ghee, and you can cook with it, and it makes these potatoes nice and brown and crispy. To this, we are going to add some salt and pepper. So I have about half a teaspoon of salt, sea salt, of course, and half a teaspoon of black pepper. And then we are going to just mix those up really, really good. That's the exciting part right there. Woo, that's exciting. Okay. So now that we have a good mixture of the ghee and the potatoes and the salt and the pepper, we just take a little bit of this and put it in the bottom of our muffin tin, and we just mash it down in there. You kind of make a little cup. So you want to make a flat bottom and just kind of go around the edges and make a little cup. We're going to do that for all 6 of these. Now the recipe that I'm showing you today will make 6 of these. You can double it, you can triple it, and make as many as you like. They are great because they can sit in the refrigerator all week, and then you have this amazing, like, ready-to-go breakfast, which I love because I don't know about you guys, but I struggle with breakfast. I struggle with getting a vegetable in the breakfast because in the form of a vegetable, typically it comes in a smoothie or in an egg dish that you have to make, like, right there. But this actually can sit in the refrigerator, and it makes an amazing go-to quick breakfast, which I love. And I'm getting vegetables in the morning, which is a double bonus. So we're just gonna put all those down in there, mash them around. You can do this with your fingers. If you were at home, if I was at home, I'd be doing these with my fingers. We're gonna do it with this. Tongs are fine too. Make sure we get all that goodness. And that's what it looks like. See those in there? Now here's your second trick for this particular dish. These are actually going to go in our oven at 350 degrees. Now I have our oven preheated right now. We're going to put those in for about 15 minutes. The second part of this is actually roasting cauliflower. So I've already roasted the cauliflower before the show started, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But you can put the cauliflower and this in together, cook it for 15, 20 minutes until these are golden brown. If you miss that step, guess what? You're going to get soggy bottoms. So you don't want that. So we're going to put these in the oven. Those are going to be in there for about 15 minutes. So the next part of this is going to be our egg mixture. Now, here's a third tip for you, and that is when you make this, it's really handy dandy to have something that you can pour out of. So a large mixing bowl like this or a bowl that has a spout is great. If you don't, you're going to want to have like a ladle or something handy because you don't want your egg mixture to go over the top or get on the, and if you do, you want to clean it off. You do not want it to get on the pan itself because it will burn, and burnt eggs do not smell good. So you want your food to smell good as it's cooking. So just something with a little pour spout is going to make this job a lot easier. So we are going to crack 6 large eggs in here. So as you can imagine, that's 1 egg basically per muffin tin, per muffin cup in there. So everybody gets at least 1 egg in this, which is awesome. Eggs to me are the perfect food. I have to tell you, if I could select a perfect food, eggs are the perfect food. And here at Natural Grocers, this is one of the reasons that we at Go-To Kitchens have decided to partner up with them because they have amazing egg standards. They have, since 1955, they have at least had cage-free. Now then, today, grocery stores have committed to the next 10 years that they will catch up to at least cage-free and stop offering factory-farmed eggs. But Natural Grocers has been doing it since 1955, which just makes them an amazing company. Recently, they have actually introduced egg standards, and they've taken the guesswork out of buying eggs, basically. And you can buy eggs based on their standard, bronze, silver, and gold. Now, these are the gold eggs, and this means that these are pasture-raised eggs. And pasture-raised eggs means that chickens are out doing what chickens are supposed to do, which is foraging. They are out in a field or in a pasture, and they are foraging for their food. They're not in little tiny cages. They're not even in big cages with lots of other chickens. They have a particular amount of square feet around them where they can do what chickens are supposed to do. It just makes an amazing, amazing quality standard. So Natural Grocers now has committed to having free free range or better. And the free range is actually the bronze, and it's hard to find free range in a conventional grocery store. So as you can see, if you know anything about me at Go-To Kitchens, you know that I am all about the pastured eggs. So coming into natural grocers and being able to find pastured eggs easy and conveniently, and not having to do the guesswork of researching the company, they've already done that work for me. All I have to do is go in and say, I want to buy the gold standard eggs, and that's it. So it's amazing what they're doing here. So we have our eggs. That's the 6 eggs right away. This is the beautiful carton that they have. That looks like a happy chicken to me. I don't know about you. And a happy egg. And I love what it says. These came first. Because that's a big question, right? Which came first, the chicken or the egg? So we have our 6 eggs in there, and we have just scrambled them lightly. You see that I've done that with a wooden spoon. You want to be careful when you're working with eggs, especially in a dish like this, because we want them to rise. We want them to get fluffy. And so doing that, doing just a light scramble and not a heavy whip will actually help them rise. It will keep their proteins intact and actually help them rise. So I have about a tablespoon of dry mustard. This is just going to infuse some amazing flavor into this dish, really make the vegetables pop that we're going to put in. I have a 3/4 of a cup of full fat coconut milk that we're going to put in. And this is half a cup of raw cheddar cheese. Now, this is unpasteurized cheese, which is what I choose to use. If you're not a dairy eater, you can omit the cheese. If you omit the cheese, I would highly recommend that you double up on the cauliflower that I'm about to show you, the roasted cauliflower, and use a little bit of the nutritional yeast. That will give it the cheesy flavor, and you'll get that texture with the extra cauliflower in there. And honestly, it never hurts to double up on the cauliflower anyway. So we're going to put that cheese right down in there. Super good. So yummy. This is the roasted cauliflower that I've been talking about. We roasted that up in the oven. This is about a cup of cauliflower, and we're just going to use that, and we're going to slide it all right off into our mixture here. Now, all I did to roast this is I used some parchment paper and a baking pan. I put my oven on 425. That's like the magic number when you're roasting vegetables. 425. And I put some salt and pepper and olive oil, and I just got it really nice and scrambled up. Scrambled up means to mix it up. So I mixed it up, and I put it in there. And the reason we roast it ahead of time is because the cauliflower will not cook as fast as the eggs will. And so you don't want crunchy cauliflower. That would be a little awkward. And it's all about when you're making a dish like this, especially if you're trying to introduce more vegetables into your life, when you're making a dish like this, it is all about making sure that the texture and the flavor is amazing and that you want to eat it over and over again. Because eating healthy doesn't mean that you have to be boring with your food. First of all, it's not just steamed vegetables and rice, right? It is about eating flavors that you really, really enjoy. And this adds an amazing flavor. Now, when I redid this recipe, I actually redid this recipe for someone. They had this huge casserole, and it was full of bread, and it was full of sausage and all kinds of things, just white French bread. And so I remade this for them and added the vegetables. And I took the sausage out and decided to go with the cauliflower. And when I used the roasted cauliflower, it gave me the impression that I was biting into a piece of sausage or a piece of meat, but indeed I was eating plant-based, which I love. Love getting as many plants as I can in. So then we're going to take, and we're just going to run our knife. Actually, I was going to tear them, and I just changed my mind. So we have some washed spinach here, and we're just going to run and ribbon the spinach. We're going to do about a cup of this as well. I'm going to leave the stems out. Those are going to go in our mixture. And ribboning is just, especially with these large leaves, is just taking a group of leaves and just running your knife through where you get about 1/2 inch pieces like that. That's going to be perfect for this recipe. They're going to cook down, so we're going to do a full nice heaping cup, because spinach adds the color, it adds the nutrients. It's just so, so great for you as well. And it adds a really great texture to the whole dish. There's some long edit points for you. Okay, so now we have our spinach in there, and we are just going to mix all this together. It's gorgeous. It's so beautiful. I love beautiful food. It's like my thing. I love beautiful food. I love it when your food not only tastes good, it looks good, and it's good for you. It's like the triple of, it's the trifecta of being healthy. Okay. So let's see if our hash browns are done. I have a sneaking feeling. Perfectly crisp though. Close the door so we don't lose our heat out of our oven. Look at that. Can you see that? No, you can't. Get another. There we go. Look at that. Those are perfectly crisped up. Beautiful. Love it. Now that's exactly what you want. If you don't get that little crispy bit in there, then you are going to end up with mush on the bottom. So you want to make sure that they're nice and crispy. So easy. You just pour right in here. Now be forewarned as you're pouring in. Hold on, let me move this for you, Rob. As you're pouring in, the eggs are going to begin to cook just a little bit because you're pouring into a hot pan. You want to leave about a ½ inch or so at the top of each one of these because they're going to rise up a little bit and you don't want to have blubble over. You don't want them to guggle over the top or spill over the top. Yummy. Oh, I'm going to eat every one of these. Not really. I want to eat every one of these. I won't eat them all, I promise. So while these are cooking, I want you to get your typing fingers ready because while these are cooking, we are going to answer some live questions right here. And I'd like to hear about where you're from. So type in your question, type where you're from, and we'll get those questions answered for you. All right. So you can see I have about ½ inch and I have, this is perfect. You can see right here where I've spilled over a little bit and I want to make sure that I get that cleaned off of there, because that egg will begin to burn in there and it's hard to clean up and it just doesn't smell great. And you want these to smell amazing. You want your family to come running downstairs and say, what are you cooking? That smells so good. So, and be careful because your pan is hot. So we're going to put these back in the oven and we are going to cook these for about 20 minutes. Okay, so our yummy little mini frittatas are in the oven cooking. And while those are cooking, I'm going to take a few questions from our audience. Now, if you're new to live broadcasting, this is the beautiful thing about this. You are actually live in a classroom, in a virtual classroom with us. So I asked you to get your typing fingers. I asked you to get your typing fingers ready so that you could type in your questions. So now we're going to go through and read some questions and answer some of your ideas, maybe take on some of your concepts. We're going to hear about your local natural grocers and where you're from. So be sure to include your name and where you're from. You can just say the state, that's fine. We're going to take the first one here. And the question is, why pasture-raised eggs? So if you see me looking down, it's because I have to look down at my computer to read the questions while the camera is up here. So why pasture-raised eggs? That is an amazing question. Thank you, Mandy from Oklahoma, for asking that question. So pasture-raised eggs, like we talked about before, are from chickens that are allowed to do what chickens do naturally. And that makes a healthier chicken. Now, at Go-To Kitchens, we always say if you eat an animal that's not healthy, it's possible that you're not going to be healthy. So you want to eat a product from an animal that is actually a very happy animal. And chickens that are raised in this fashion are very happy animals. But that's not the end of the story. These chickens actually are allowed to eat bugs and grasses, which a chicken would do naturally. They're allowed to roost naturally as well. And those bugs and those grasses that they eat actually transcend inside of that egg, and you get those nutrients as well. Now, I said earlier that eggs are the perfect food, in my opinion. If you think about it, they contain everything that needs to be in an egg to create a life. And so when you eat that egg, you're eating something that is amazing for your body and so good for you. At Natural Grocers, they actually have specific egg standards that they have introduced recently, and that is bronze, silver, and gold eggs. So today we actually used the gold eggs, which are going to we used the golden eggs from the golden chickens. No, I'm just kidding. But we're going to use the pasture-raised eggs, and these are the golden standard, which means that they're organic as well. So not only were these eggs, these chickens allowed to live naturally, but they were also raised in an organic field, which is just amazing. So this is top of the top here that we use today. The other thing I always notice is that their yolk is much more yellow, and that bright yellow color that you get out of pasture-raised eggs just make your dishes look amazing, amazing. And again, they are so good for you. So let's go to another question here. So where can I find a Natural Grocers near me? That is a great question as well. So if you want to see if you have a Natural Grocers in your area, then there is going to be another link below in the comment section that you can click on, type in your zip code, and find out if there's a Natural Grocers near you. So thank you so much for that question. Great question. There are a lot of stores. There are a lot of new stores popping up everywhere. And I am blessed to live in a city that have Natural Grocers. I can drive to one in like 3 minutes. I can drive to one in 10 minutes. I can drive to one in 20 minutes. So we, in Northern Colorado, we have plenty of them. So please check out and see if you have a Natural Grocers near you. Okay, one more question, and then we're going to look at our little mini frittatas here. What can I substitute for the cheddar cheese? Perfect, perfect question. I love that. So I know a lot of people are dairy-free. You don't eat any type of dairy. So my suggestion would be to double up on the cauliflower and add a little nutritional yeast. Now, nutritional yeast is going to have, it almost has like a Parmesan cheese flavor. In fact, I use it for a cheese substitute a lot. If you want that creaminess of the cheese, if you want to get that super creaminess feeling, you can take half an avocado, mix a little with your nutritional yeast, and add that to your mixture. Now, that's going to change the color of your frittata, but it's going to give you that creaminess that you're looking for in that cheese. So great question. Thank you so much for that. All right, so our mini frittatas are ready, and it smells amazing in here. I'm telling you, it smells so good. We need smell-o-vision. So anybody out there from the internet world that's watching, if you could create smell-o-vision, we'll buy it. so let's pull these out of here. Super hot. Come on, ladies. Now look at those. Those are gorgeous. We have vegetables. We have proteins. This is a balanced, delicious breakfast. And you know what? It's so good for you. Your body is going to love you for feeding it this kind of food. So there you go. All you have to do is just pull them out. You want them to cool just a little bit. So you want them to cool slightly, but not completely. Pull them out, put them on a serving platter. You're ready to go. Breakfast is served. Thank you so much for joining us here today in this live broadcast. If you enjoyed this broadcast, please be sure to share out with your Facebook friends and followers. We are so excited about opening up our classroom and bringing you a virtual classroom so that you can attend class with us here in Natural Grocers. My name is Leslie Nance. I'm from GoToKitchens.com, and thank you so much for being with us today.